Whee!
What's up guys, it's the Dueling Potato here, and I'm bringing you another deck profile from Locals. Yesterday I got second place with this deck, and it is Trickstar Sky Strike. If you like this new camera angle, let me know in the comments, or if you like the original, let me know. So let's get right into the video. So to start, we have 3 of the Trickstar Consistency card, Trickstar Candina. Everybody runs 3 of these. So next we have 3 Lycoris. So the reason I run 3 of these is because if you banish one off of Desires, I feel it is very awkward and it is hard for you to recover. And to wrap up the Trickstar monsters, we have 1 Trickstar Lily Bell, because you only run 1, it's a brick if you draw it. So we also, for Trickstar spells, we have triple Light Stage and triple Terraforming. Again, that's just pretty normal. We also have triple Reincarnation. This is just a really good card. I understand why some people are running it at 3, but this just says disrupt your opponent's hand. And cards that mess with your hand generally don't stay around for long because they've just been extremely broken. So those are the Trickstar cards. Now on to the Sky Striker cards. We run 3 Engage. This is a search card and a +1 past turn 1. So I don't see why you wouldn't run 3 of them. Then we have triple Hornet Drones. Again, this Hornet Drones plus Candina is a turn 1 Sayruja with 4 materials, which is very good, and I'll show you that combo later. But this card helps just generate advantage because this card is a 1-card Phoenix or a 1-card Cerberus. So that's pretty good. And then finally, for Sky Striker cards, we have 1 Jamming Waves, 1 Widow Anchor, and 1 Afterburner. So these 3 cards, they are very good. They're very good, yes, but I could see why some people don't want to run all 3. I feel like you should definitely run Afterburners, and then you can pick one of these 2 cards if you only have room for one, and if you have room for both, I'd run both. Widow Anchor never really comes up turn 1, which is what this deck wants to do, but going second, it's very good. But in turn 1, it's not so good because you normally want to end on something like a Lycoris, or you want to be able to bounce something with Lycoris. So you'll have a monster in your main monster zone, which defeats the purpose of Widow Anchor. And Jamming Waves is a good card. The fact that it only targets set spells kind of hurt me once, because I forgot that it didn't do any spell. So be sure to read your cards, and if you wanted to run 2 Afterburners, 1 Widow Anchor, I wouldn't call you crazy, but I think that running 1 of each is the best. So if I was to cut one of these, I'd probably cut Widow Anchor or Jamming Waves. I'd side one of them for sure, because they definitely have their uses. And now for power spells, we run 3 Pot of Desires. If you resolve Desires, you have a really good chance of winning, so I don't see why you wouldn't play it as a 3 of. We also have triple Scapegoat and 2 Shared Ride. If you resolve any of these cards against a bad player, you win. If you resolve Scapegoat against any opponent, you probably will win. They're just both really powerful cards. Shared Ride basically makes your opponent stop their turn or give you like a +3. Either way, you're fine with that, as long as you don't get OTK'd, because you can, with that many extra resources, you can OTK your opponent as well. Now on to hand traps. We run the best hand trap of the deck, 3 Droll and Lockbird. The Droll and Lock combo is still a thing. I pulled it off, and it generated as much salt as I was expecting, but the combo is just really dumb that it still exists. But that's one of the reasons we run 3 Droll. It's just because the Droll and Lock combo exists, and it's also just really good at stopping your opponent's turn. And then we run 3 Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is pretty good. I can't afford permanences right now, so we run Effect Veiler instead. It's pretty good. It works on basically every deck in the format right now, except maybe ABC if you're playing against Rogue. It's just a good card. It targets, so it's kind of bad against spirals, but other than that, it's really good. And then we run 2 Ash Blossom because I only own 2. I just picked up my 3rd Ash last night right after the tournament, so we finally have those. And then for our spicy hand traps, we have 2 DD Crows. So the theory behind this is that against Brandish, if you add something back with Kagari, you can hit it with DD Crow. And if you're playing against Goki and they rematch, you can DD Crow and go into and banish one of their targets off a rematch, so they only bring 1 back. And if you do that, they're going to have an extra extender in their hand to use to combo off. So just 1 good, well-timed DD Crow can stop a lot of people's turns. It's also good against ABC and Paleo and all that kind of stuff, all that rogue stuff. So that's the main deck. It's 43 cards. I'm probably gonna trim it down a little bit for Saturday. But onto the extra deck, we have 2 Kagari and 1 Shizuku. This is just your generic Sky Striker engine. Nothing I really have to say about that. For Scapegoat stuff, we have Link Kuriboh, Link Fighter, and Space Insulator. Space Insulator is really good mid-game where you want to maybe turn 3 where you want to clear off your main monster zones and go into an engage, or use your Sky Strikers spells, because those Sky Striker spells are very good at clearing your opponent's board to a simplified game state. And when this deck gets to a simplified game state and you're just top decking, this deck will win. So onto the Nightmare cards, we have 1 Phoenix, 1 Cerberus, and 1 Goblin. We run Goblin for the OTK, and then Phoenix is just a good popping back row card, and Cerberus didn't come up very much, but it came up once, and it did its duty. For Link 3s, we have Ningirsu, Nightmare Unicorn, and Topologic Trisbania. Ningirsu was supposed to be a Holly Angel. I forgot mine on my desk, actually. It's somewhere here. And so I just had to play with that. The first time I played this deck at a locals, Ningirsu or Holly Angel never came up, but today there was like 3 times where Holly Angel came up, and Ningirsu didn't come up once, so I'm going to cut him for Holly Angel. And then for Link 4s, we have Sayruja, Borreload, and Firewall. Borreload's there for Scapegoat, Firewall's there for the OTK, and Sayruja's there for the turn 1 Sayruja combo with 2 cards that I'll show later, but it just helps get you a big monster on board, and it just helps you dig for really good cards, because with 7 cards to pick from with sending 3 back, you're gonna have at least 2 disruptions unless you have really bad draws. So either 2 disruptions or negations or hand traps or stuff like that. So that's the extra deck. We also, of course, have our Scapegoat tokens. I just think they're pretty cool. Then for our side deck, we have the 3rd Shared Ride. This is really good going first. I always side this in when I know I'm going first and I'm picking to go first. Ghost Reaper. We don't have the Assault in the side deck because we don't have any Goki players at our locals until today, where they finally finished getting the Gokis, so an Assault's going to get in here. But we have a bunch of Brandish, and this is just you're not going to outgrind me when you hit it Brandish with this. So then we have Triple Mind Control. This is for when we go second. Just steal an opponent's monster, link into a Nightmare card, pop a card, and then resolve Sky Striker stuff. It's another spell, and it's another just good going second card. Triple Twin Twisters for those back row decks. It's another going second card. Then we have, for going first, we have Mind Crush. This came up once or twice. I was playing against Mermail. They reveal a guy, discard, then Mind Crush him. Not much to say. It definitely is very good when you're scared of things. And then finally, for the last 2 cards, we have 2 Spear Modes. This also was for Mermail because we have a pretty good Mermail player at our locals. So that's the main extra inside. It's 43, 15, 15, and I'll go into that Sayruja combo right now. Okay guys, I'm back. So for this combo, you need a way to get to Hornet Bit or Hornet Drones, so we have Engage, and then we need a way to get to Candina, so we have Terraforming. And then we're going to cut our deck, and we are going to start the hand off with 3 other cards and just show you a test hand with this turn 1 Sayruja combo. So we draw Candina, which is good, Effect Veiler, and Ash Blossom. Okay, that's a pretty good opening hand. So to start off, we can go Engage into Hornet Drones, wherever it is. Activate Hornet Drones, summon a token. Link the token into Kagari, and then Kagari effect, we will add back Engage. And so here, if you had another Hornet Drones in hand, which we don't, you would activate the Hornet Drone, or you would activate the Engage and add a something like Widow Anchor, or you could save it for Sayruja and possibly get a draw 1 off of it, but since we don't have that, we can go Engage into another Hornet Drones. So we activate Hornet Drones, bring out the token. And then here we can, what you can do is you can Terraforming into Light Stage. And here you can make a decision if you want to activate the Light Stage in Deck Thin, or if you want to just hold the Light Stage until after you Sayruja. I personally am going to activate the Light Stage and grab a Licorice, because I feel that you want to maximize. If you do this, you're gonna automatically have the Licorice in hand. So we activate the Light Stage, and then we will add a Licorice. Okay, then what we will do is we will normal summon Candina and use Candina's effect. Search Lilybell. Lilybell's effect added to the hand except by drawing. We'll special summon her, and we'll shuffle our deck. And now that since we have 4 monsters on the field that with different names, we will go into a Sayruja. So these 3 plus the token is going to equal Sayruja, and then Sayruja's effect will activate, and we will draw 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we have 7 cards in hand. The first thing we'll do is, since we have more than 1 Ash, and it's once per turn, we'll send back an Ash. Here, Droll is pretty good, but Droll and Shared Ride share the same purpose, so it's just whatever you want to do. Shared Ride can't be called, so we're going to send a Droll back, and then the question is, do we want Effect Veiler or do we want a Desires? Because we have Licorice, which will summon off with Sayruja. Ash Blossom is a really good card for disruption, and we picked Shared Ride over Droll and Knockbird, so we have these 2 cards. And I feel that going into Desires is going to be better than Effect Veiler, but that's personal opinion. If you're scared of your opponent probably won't have Ash because they would have Ashed Sayruja by now, so Desires should go off without a hitch. And so we're going to add Desires, and Effect Veiler is going to the bottom of the deck. So, now, we know for a fact that we won't Desires into either of those 3 cards. So we won't Desires into an Ash Blossom since we only run 2. And we have Licorice in hand and Shared Ride. So we'll Desires, and then we'll have our hand here. And go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, and 2. Okay, so we didn't really get too good of a draw off of Desires, but it's still cards. So let's see what we banished. Nothing bad. We banished an Engage, a Widow Anchor, and then a Licorice. Ooh, 2 Light Stage. That's not good. So we didn't really get good Desires off of that one, but we still have Sayruja special summoning a Licorice, and then we have 2 hand traps, Ash and Droll, and then we have a Shared Ride. So we could, if our opponent searches, we can chain Shared Ride, and then on resolution drop Droll. So we'll draw 1 card, and then they can't search for the rest of the turn, and anything else we can just follow up with Ash. Okay, so that's the combo. If you liked the video, like it. If you didn't like it, dislike it. Tell me why you didn't like it in the comments. And see you next time, guys.
Whee!